Hello, once again. Welcome to the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. I'm your host, Frank Garay, here with my favorite AI avatar, Chris Johnstone.
Was my laugh delayed there? Did I glitch a little?
There was a little latency. You're gonna have to work on that. Yeah. So how are you, Chris?
I'm great, Frank. How are you?
You know, I tell you, my life is in such a neat place right now, and in such a huge part because of you.
Oh,
And just learning so much about this AI storm that we're in that is just rushing over all of us. You have guided me down the path of so many very cool things. It has helped me immensely. We were just having a conversation before we even started about just things we don't want to talk about now, but just incredible things that AI has helped me with. That if I didn't know you, that I would not know this, and it's just been incredible. And I wanted to do a podcast with you for two reasons, Chris. Two reasons. And number one, I'm glad we're saying this right at the front. If you're not joining us on Fridays,
mm.
on loan officer AI Fridays, right? LOAI Fridays.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
Breakfast
on the
Club.
Breakfast Club, Loan Officer Breakfast Club, but it's on Fridays. Friday, Chris Johnstone comes on to Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club is free. 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Absolutely free. Just go to breakfastclubzoom.com and you can just log right in. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, but on Fridays, it's all about AI. It's all about Chris, who, by the way, is being asked to speak around the country about AI because he's just got such a. Truthfully, nobody has a real good grip on AI, if we're going
Oh,
to be
no,
honest,
absolutely. We
right?
don't. It
But
changes so fast.
but you've got a better grip than most of us in the lending industry, right? And so, anyways, if you show up on Fridays, I always kid around at the end. I always say, well, if you got a cigarette, smoke it now because it's just incredible the speed at which things are going. And Chris, it's incredible at what if you're tuned into this as an originator, especially with your guidance, the impact it can have on a loan officer's business, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe next week or
Yep.
in a month, right? To be able to show up in a ChatGPT search, as a recommended lender by a consumer just asking verbally, hey,
hmm
who's a good loan officer I should talk to in chat? Saying, well, I found Chris Johnstone in this area and he seems to be a great one. To have that happen to you is like so realistic and
Yep.
so accessible if you know how to do it,
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
and that's what you've been teaching us. Walk us through that a little bit, what you've been finding. I know you got a story you want to tell us and, how we can get help, to get this going.
Absolutely. There's so much, Frank. So
Hmm.
first off, I think it's important for us to understand that the greatest companies and the greatest opportunities always come when the market moves. And so if you go back to like pagers and fax machines and then moving over to like email and Google, right?
Mm,
We
mm,
know massive, massive companies in the mortgage space that were built on that pivot, where they were just
mm,
like, we're going to be an online lender, we're going to do online opt-in forms, and we're going to offer great advertising rates and all of that. Massive, massive organizations because they caught the market as it pivoted and rose to the top. Like we saw, you know, did you know that Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix
yeah.
for
You
like
told us
50
that.
million
Yeah.
bucks and didn't do it? Like, so it's that change, and we're going through that change again, but it's the fastest and most um, impactful human pivot that I think we're going to go through, at least in this next 10 years. Like
Yeah.
the AI change of our market is going to happen. So I've got a funny story for you. I don't know if it's funny, but it's
Okay.
funny to me. So that means it's funny to like
Give
1% of
it,
the
give it to
people out
me.
there. Okay. So I went and did a speech for Ruoff Mortgage last week. So they were kind
Okay.
enough to fly me from Costa Rica all the way down. Um, got up on stage and I turned on ChatGPT Atlas. And if you don't know what ChatGPT Atlas is, it's OpenAI's browser. So you can have ChatGPT and it can actually run your browser for you. And I got up on stage, and my son has recently gotten into fishing. Like he is just nuts about fishing. So while I was in the States, I wanted to pick up a bunch of fishing equipment, take it back and surprise him with it. And
Mm,
I
mm.
obviously I got gifts for my daughter or whatever. So I was sitting in the
Yeah.
hotel room and I was like, wow, what an impactful presentation for me to show people how I'm going through and doing the research and ordering this stuff. So I got up on stage. I opened up ChatGPT Atlas and I went to the guys at the AV booth like 8:30 in the morning. I was like, "Can you guys show my screen?" And they were like, "Yeah, we'll figure it out for you." I showed ChatGPT Atlas. I put in a prompt. It was like 32 or 34 words or whatever, like find me the best fishing equipment and deliver it to me here at the conference center. I hit enter. It took over my browser, did all the research to find the proper fishing pole because I don't know, I really don't know anything about fishing. I know I want to fish with my son. That's what I know about fishing, right? It goes out, finds the right rod, the right reel, the right line, the right tackle box, the right backpack for the whole thing, puts it all in, like, does the research and finds all the stuff, opens the DoorDash website, finds all the items on DoorDash, puts them all into the cart, and then says, "Would you like to order them?" I hit yes. And so everybody just watched AI go through the research to find all of the products and then actually finding them, putting them in the cart. So about 45 minutes into my presentation, the back door opens up and in walks the person with all the fishing equipment.
You have got to be kidding me, man.
And it was like a huge risk on death by demo, but
Yeah,
it
death by
worked.
demo. I love that phrase. We both use that phrase. So yeah, that could have been a big death by demo from the start, right?
And here, right? And here we are at a point in the technology that it's that easy and it worked. And so my point in telling the story and in doing the demonstration and putting myself at risk in order to do it is to really help drive home to us in the mortgage industry that as soon as your customer experiences that level of convenience, they will never go back to the
That's
old way
right.
that they used to do it.
It's right. You're right.
So when I'm a first-time home buyer and I can go to ChatGPT and say, find me a list of all the three-bedroom, two bathrooms in this school district that have this tax range, get me a list of all the houses, and then run a task every morning to go check and see if there's new listings that hit the market, absolutely our market is going to move.
Yeah.
So it's our responsibility as professionals to go and meet the market, right? And what that
Indeed.
means is getting ChatGPT to recommend your mortgage business when it's like, yes, we do want to buy, or we want to go see that three-bedroom, two-bathroom, and ChatGPT is smart enough to go to the consumer and say, like, well, have you been pre-qualified yet? You really need to get pre-qualified with a
Yeah.
lender
Do you
before you
got the
go.
money?
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
ChatGPT is smart enough to actually ask that question and prompt the user
Yeah.
and then recommend local lenders. So for everybody listening, 2 weeks ago, ChatGPT released knowledge panels for businesses. So now when you go into a marketplace and you look for local businesses, there's a map that pops up. Your business is on that map, right? You click on it and it's got a knowledge panel about your business. So now we're into like 10 years ago, Google released Google Business Profile pages
Right.
and changed everything.
Yeah.
Well, with a Google Business Profile, you can actually go to Google, sign up for an account, fill it with the information that you want, upload your pictures, like you control the listing, right? AI doesn't work like that. It's like, no,
Mm.
we're not going to set up a customer support desk to
Right.
customer support to every small business in America. We're just going to scrape all the data and display what we have about your business.
Right.
So it's changed the way that large mortgage organizations need to look at their digital footprint from a compliance standpoint, from all these different standpoints, but being the authority in the local market space of where's AI getting that information from? Are you publishing information to those sources? Is your business and is your organization putting information and content into those places to prove that it's an authority?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Totally does. Yeah. And when you say putting information into those places, right?
Mhm.
Like, what are those places? Right?
So,
Yeah.
it's a great question. So, when you go and do a local search in your marketplace, you can actually go to the bottom of the ChatGPT output that's come out there and click sources. and you can see all of the different websites that it's
It
gone
looked.
to make that decision and where it's looked. And you can do the same thing. You can click on your business, see your knowledge panel come up over on the right-hand side, and then click sources and see where it's pulled all of the information about your particular business. We've done a lot of deep diving. So we've got a product where we do all of the work to get people listed on Google, but now we're spending the majority of our time and effort on getting
Making the
ranked
pivot, right?
in
Yeah.
ChatGPT. We're over 40% of the clients that are on our program are now recommended by ChatGPT, which
Mm.
is a Herculean accomplishment
It
by our
really
team.
is. Yeah. Hey there, if you're loving the tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and then click on the bell as well so you never miss out on more cool free tips coming your way. And also, would love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think or what you want to see next.
But what it's allowed us to do is to find out kind of what works and kind of what doesn't. And this
Mm,
is not a science. This is an art. We don't have this figured out by any means,
mm,
but we're pulling enough levers to see the results start to pop up for the
mm.
clients. And so what I've discovered is that online conversations by other people other than your brand are critically important. So Facebook groups, Reddit
Really?
conversations,
Facebook
Quora,
groups,
yeah, because
Reddit.
so if I'm AI and I'm smarter than Einstein and I
Yeah.
speak all the languages, I have all of this knowledge, would it be reasonable to assume that it would go, hey, people are probably going to self-promote their own businesses. We should probably look at what other people say about the businesses, and that's more
Yes,
likely true
indeed. Yeah.
information about the
Yeah.
business, right? So AI has pivoted into reading all of these online forums and conversation threads to determine the true social footprint of that business. And conversations are now just as important as ratings and reviews. And so we're finding in almost every search that we look at, there's a Facebook group that's from that local market, and it's going through and looking at, okay, when people say, hey, does anybody know a good real estate agent? Does anybody know a good lender? It's the businesses that are being recommended by random people in those groups that are the ones that are starting to show up and be recommended by the AI.
Mm, mm.
So here's the strategy, Frank. What do you do with that information? Like, how do you take that and action it?
Yeah.
Well, I've taught for over a decade that you should be getting 5-star ratings and reviews on your Google business profile. And there's, the Loan Officer CRM does it, but there's great tools out there that are like, hey, get your clients to leave a review here and we'll push it out everywhere.
Mm,
That has changed. And so what you need to do is have a conversation with your borrower before the deal closes. And it's a very simple conversation of, hey, like, do you post on Facebook in groups? Are you a Reddit user? Where's the best place for you to leave a 5-star rating and review? When we get to an on-time happy closing, where would you like me to follow up and give you the link to leave the review? And that conversation has to happen before the deal closes. And I know it's a pain in order to do that, but the results that we can possibly get in the future is definitely worth the effort to potentially get the result.
mm,
So
mm,
when you have somebody that says, yeah, I'm in the local Facebook buy and sell group, I'm in the local group, I'm in the moms group, I'm in that group, you're like, okay, great. Well, rather than leaving me a 5-star rating and review on insert in profile, right?
mm,
Would you mind just telling the story of doing business together and mentioning my business inside that Facebook group? Would you
mm.
mind going on to the subreddit and saying that we did a deal together and it was a great experience and share your experience over there? And they say yes. One social proof post that's not a review, but a conversation left in one of these conversation threads is the new internet gold, I
God,
believe.
that is so different.
I know.
It's so different, man. It's
And
like
nobody's doing it. Nobody's
nobody's
doing it,
doing
Frank.
it. Yeah. Because we have just, you're right. We have been trained for so long now. Google business page, Google reviews, and still do those things, of course, right? So,
100%.
yeah, we
Absolutely.
still do those things. But the new way is not that. The new way is social conversations that AI can pick up on. And
That's right.
it's a different animal, man. It's a completely different animal. It's fascinating. The fact that you guys have picked up on this and just like you said, kind of sort of figured it out to the point where you're actually getting your clients to show up as a recommended lender in ChatGPT. Amazing. Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
if I may,
Hmm.
there's two sides of it. So we figured out that like social conversation proof aspect of what the AI is looking for. But the other thing that the AI is incredibly hungry for is knowledge. And there's two types of knowledge that the AI is looking for. The first is when somebody asks a question of AI, it needs a little snippet to grab to give back to that person to answer their question so that in the shortest form possible the person can read the answer and the AI or the large language model can like deliver the answer back to the person. So content creation and publishing a weekly newsletter and publishing that newsletter as a blog on your website, indexing it properly, making sure that the large language model can crawl it and say, when somebody asks this question, you can snip this as the answer to answer that question. AI
Mm.
is very hungry for that information right now, especially in the mortgage industry, because a lot of the information changes all of the time.
Hmm.
And not very many people do a good job of publishing specific information about specific loan products in specific markets. And that's what the AI wants. It wants somebody that's in Wichita, Kansas, that asks about a VA loan to have a mortgage lender in Wichita, Kansas that's published the answer to that question about VA loans
Got it.
and
Yeah.
serve that to that customer. So when you're in a local marketplace and you're looking at, well, we'll just keep going with VA. If I want to be the VA lender that's recommended by chat, I'm going to go to ChatGPT and tell it, go do deep research, find me the top 10 questions that get asked to AI and on Google, and give me a list so that for the next 10 weeks, I can
I can
publish,
answer them.
I can answer them and
Yeah.
publish that information, right?
Hmm.
And then we publish it as a newsletter because you and I both know, I think it's 83 or 84% of all funded mortgage deals come from referrals. It is
Hmm.
past customer database and realtor referral partners, right? I believe that's going to pivot a little bit in the future. Not huge, but there's going to be more and more deals that come consumer direct as more and more people lean into AI and use that as a source to find their lender. But if this is where the majority of the deals are coming from, we got to focus over here while we build our AI. That's why we
Right.
do it as a newsletter. So once a week, you can send out a newsletter and say, hey, here's what's happening around town. Here's a cool listing that just hit the market. Here's a blurb about a specific loan product. Here's the hockey sports scores. Here's what happened in the market. You can publish a really engaging, really helpful newsletter, whole thing written by AI. Takes you 6 minutes and one
Right.
prompt to get it to like do the research, publish the newsletter. You send it out, and at the bottom, you ask the business. Well, if you're sending that to all your leads, your database, all your referral partners once a week, is it likely that you're going to get more referrals by
I would say
publishing,
so. You wouldn't, of course.
right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, what you're really doing is you're answering the most frequently asked questions so that the
So
AI
smart.
can
It's
feed the
so
questions back to the
smart.
consumer.
It's brilliant. Dude, it's so smart. It's just so cool. So I have been doing that. I published a new site, cannabisfunding.ai, did 2 articles, followed the procedure, posted blog posts based around that, based around that process. And I tell you, and this just happened, bro, 2 days ago, right? I did it, but it's like I cannot tell you how good I felt about
Mm,
doing it and even guiding the AI, right? Like, so I even told the AI, this is what I want to do it on, right? And then
yep.
it gave me something. I read it and I said, no, actually you want to say it this way. No, actually you want to say it that way. And that, and it did it all. But in my mind, the reason I know why I'm doing that intentionally to teach the gosh darn thing that I'm the authority, right? And
That's
at the
right.
same time, delivering a fantastic article,
Yep.
blog post, for consumption by the consumer. Chris, this is great. We got to get rolling here. What's the best way to engage? How do where?
LO
Mhm.
AI class. .com. Sorry, I jumped in on that.
No problem. loaiclass.com. The link will be in the description down here. It's certainly easy to remember if you're listening to us on Spotify or iTunes. loaiclass.com. Go there, register. Every Friday, Chris dives deep on that meeting, and that's at noon Eastern, correct? Isn't that at
Yep, you
noon?
got it.
That's at
Yep.
noon Eastern every Friday, free, open to you as an originator. Go learn this stuff. Go learn this stuff and start implementing it. Yeah,
Amazing.
you'll be glad you did. Chris, thanks so much, and be sure to join us on Fridays on Breakfast Club too, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, 30 minutes. Breakfast Club Zoom, where we have our LOAI Fridays, is what we call it for Breakfast Club. So Chris is there as well. Chris, thanks so much for being here on the podcast.
Man, thanks for having me, Frank.
Absolutely. We'll have you back again soon. For the rest of y'all, thanks for joining us. Get us here next time at the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. We'll see you later. Adios.